I'm not sure if you have you recorded your other Web Talk interactive classes before?
No, no.
Oh, wow. We need to get them recorded because those are valuable videos like you were sharing with a tool.
Mm.
You know, if you create some Web Talk classes with a tool, then you can show India,
Yes.
you know, and we have to save them. So, is this one recorded now?
Yes, yes.
Recording?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Wonderful.
But this
So,
is my first time I record, so I will try. Okay.
okay, good. We'll give it a couple minutes and let some others come in. We got Teacher Jenny here already,
Yes.
and we'll wait for Teacher Ann and Teacher Sun because we wanna talk to them first and see, you know, a little bit about what they want to create. What's their dream fila? So I want to listen to them, and then we're gonna do something for Vietnam, and so you know everybody's getting used to turning off the microphone when they come in, and which is nice. So, Teacher Toto, let's talk a little bit about, you know, while everybody comes in, and I see, we got Linda here, we got Teacher Ann here. That's nice. See, they have their English names as well as their Vietnamese. There's Carrie right there. That's good. Active web talker. Very good. So you might want to concentrate on that right now. That's okay too, Teacher Toto.
Hello.
Hello there.
I'm a new teacher,
Oh, very good.
but I'm a student.
Teacher team. Actually,
Very nice.
I invite many Vietnamese students to join in Web Talk, and also they are the beginners, so we need to have lots of teachers to take care of them because on the higher class they cannot join because they also join to practice listening skills, but they also need to improve their grammar, their vocabulary, and many things in the beginner to step by step. And then also now the Great Talk in Vietnam is really growth, and there are many volunteer. They volunteer to open the Zoom to help other people because I invite, maybe this month I invite more than 500, 500 people. Yeah, 500 people, and then most of them need to study in the beginning step. So we usually open the Zoom to practice with them, and then we
Hình như anh
Yes. There we go, Teacher Toto. Good.
yeah.
Just mute the mics as they come in. Yes. Let me talk a little bit first, Teacher Toto, about what you just said there. There's Teacher Sun. Wonderful.
Maybe.
And what we want to do is just get them to mute the mics and learn that deal. All right, Teacher Toto, you say about beginners and grammar and tenses and vocabulary, and everybody's going to understand that actually that way of learning is actually incorrect. You're going to learn that that's incorrect. And that's what hurt Asia. That's what hurt the world as they learned English, is thinking that grammar and tenses first as a beginner was something that was number one. That's incorrect. It is about now the beginners, the people in the middle, rising from the beginning, the high level, they join in these web talk interactive classes and they begin the number one skill. They listen, just like a baby. Now, we're talking about this century, the 21st century. We're not talking about the century that passed, the 20th century. Let's all work in factories. Let's get a job in, like a robot. Let's do a 9 in the morning to 5 o'clock job. We're talking about this now. And the only way we can get human beings to use this is by listening to each other. It's not by grammar and tenses, as everybody thinks it is, because that's a program. Now, Teacher Tim, I want everybody to understand who Teacher Tim is. Because if you, as a teacher, have a passion for grammar and tenses, beautiful. Just like yesterday, Teacher Tim was in a grammar and tense class with Teacher Ann. This was a higher level grammar and tense class, though, even though it was for beginners, because you guys are communicating with each other. There's a big difference. So, Teacher Tim, I am from the United States of America. I've been in Thailand almost 12 years. I was a teacher on the big island of Hawaii for 3 years in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in a rainforest. Over 15 years ago, started teaching. I was retired. I don't need a job. I began teaching. Why? To follow my daughter, who was 7 years old, in her school. To see my daughter in a school. And I learned that the children of the school hated school. There's a fact. They hated homework. Another fact. They hated their teachers. Another fact. They were very loud in the classrooms. Another fact. And they showed a very high level disrespect for everybody outside of them. Another fact. 5 facts. Idea: a father would go into a school and watch, observe a daughter in a new school. My daughter, single father. And this is where the adventure of teaching began for Teacher Tim. Listening to the kindergarten children. Oh yes, taught kindergarten, 25 in a class. Listening to grade 6 students, almost teenagers, listening to what they loved. Special education, autistic children, labeled manic depressant, labeled attention deficit disorder. Cure them. How? Listening to them. Yes, in English, Hawaii is America. Three years. This is 15 years ago started. A year into teaching on the big island of Hawaii, Teacher Tim, during the summer, 3 months holiday, took my daughter home to see the mother who had cancer as a teenager, addicted to drugs, cancer in remission, serious issues up here. Still to take her home to Florida, my daughter, to see her mother and grandparents and my parents, her grandparents. In the summer, 3 months, we went. She saw. This is where Teacher Tim learned about Thailand from a Thai. Listening to a Thai speak English. Different accent. Listening. This Thai is married today to an American. She was married back then to an American. She was working in America many years. She shared two things about Thailand. Teacher Tim listened and loved. First, Thai people had a great love for their king, King Rama IX. Second, this Thai talked about family, how important it was. Family in Thailand was very important. And if you understand the facts of America, that is the opposite. We are programmed in America to only think about ourselves as an individual, to separate from a family when you're 18 years old, or sooner if you can. That began a journey to the other side of the world for Teacher Tim. I went back after that summer and I researched. Yes, learning issues. I'm going to stop the story there because now Teacher Tim is in charge of reforming the educational system in Thailand. Nobody told me to reform it, make it better. The government didn't say, Teacher Tim, help us. It was listening to the Thai people. When Teacher Tim landed off a plane and took a course on the culture of Thailand 3 days, and then was in a classroom, a bilingual school, and the adventure began. Teacher Tim saw the facts. Thai children depressed, sad. They hated English. Why? Because of grammar and tenses. From their Thai English teachers talking grammar and tenses in Thai, in the mother tongue, they didn't understand what this was because they didn't understand another fact, how to use it. An idea came. Put the grammar books away. Teacher Tim in Thailand, the beginning, a language teacher. Put the book away inside a school. Put it away. Listen to the children, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. They began to share what they loved. Teacher Tim began to create activities in the classroom. What happened? They began to love a language that Teacher Tim used. They began to speak. They began to listen. Teacher Tim would walk into a classroom and the whole class would just stop. And then something else happened. Instead of the robotic, everybody stands up. Good morning, Teacher Tim. How are you? I am fine, thank you. And you? Teacher Tim stopped all that and said, sit down. I'm going to ask you 3 questions when Teacher Tim walks in. The first one, Tanadone, how are you? I am fine, thank you. And you? Like a robot. Second question. Remember Vietnam, remember world, You say you understand grammar and tenses. You say it. Incorrect. Check this next one out. The question was, number 2, how are you doing today? To Yanisa. Yanisa, how are you doing today? She's a, oh, I am listening. All right? How are you? I didn't say, what are you doing? It's ripping the program out. Rip it out. Humanity, we are not robots. Question number 3. This is grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Teacher Toto, here's the question that Teacher Tim would throw to the children.
Yes.
How is everything? How is everything with you?
Everything good.
Yeah. The children would understand over time what everything meant. It meant family. It meant friends. It meant school. How is everything? They began a journey of loving themselves by sharing from their heart. This is how you reform an education system. It is not by grammar and tenses. We must learn that actually hurt human beings. They can still not communicate. So what do, active web talkers? You have ideas to create classes that if you are passionate about grammar and tenses, create those beautiful web talk interactive classes and teach it from your passion. And the students will love you for it. The opposite was happening. Teachers in the schools were not passionate about grammar and tenses. They didn't care, they didn't understand, and the children felt it. So they began a journey of sleeping. Children began to sleep. I can't listen to this anymore. And they didn't put their head down. They didn't do what Teacher Tim and go to sleep. They began to daydream in the present moment, which all children should be. Teacher Toto knows. We are now in March 2020. We're here to develop the global education system. You are a bonus, everyone. Thailand is my home, Teacher Tim's home. This is a generational reforming. Many generations already started. It's now up to the children to grow and have their own children. They will show their children another way. And they will not start with grammar and tenses. They will start like Teacher Jenny, talking to their children at home. We're already reforming the educational system. What all of you don't understand is that we have to be patient. Web Talk is a bonus as well. Teacher Tim does not need Web Talk to reform Thailand's educational system. I don't need it. But all of you need to survive. You need jobs based on your passion. And that's what true project-based is. all of you are listening right now to an American tell a story. And Teacher Tim simply stands with another American who was born in Colombia as a baby, Teacher Andy. High school teacher, 20 years, everyone. It's time now to support Vietnam. Teacher Tim would like to hear from Teacher Sun right now.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. Yeah, it's my pleasure to meet you. Yeah, Teacher Tim.
Thank you, Teacher Sun. And it's very nice to meet you here as well. And Teacher Sun, yesterday you were promoting your first Web Talk interactive class. What happened? 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
I was trying to get in.
Yeah, it kind of fun class. I all talk and don't focus anything. Kind of like a daily conversation, and I sometimes I fix, I correct my pronunciation as well.
Very nice. Very nice. And Teacher Tim was trying to get in and I couldn't get in. I'm like, oh, maybe he didn't have the class. Maybe something happened. So, but that's wonderful that you had the first experience, and thank you for that. Just having a nice class of talking with others, you know, pronunciation and things like that you're going to learn also is actually a beautiful thing to see people pronounce words from different natives, if you want to say, of English, because there's many ways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
so, Teacher Sun, I heard a little bit about you from Teacher Toto, about your giving your time to help many people in the world, especially Vietnam, learn English. Can you tell me a little bit about this giving and why are you giving? Why are you supporting Vietnam to learn English?
Because when I was a student, I can speak really much, and when I go to the park, a lot of foreigner like kind of volunteer teaching me, and I kind of love it, and I want to all of Vietnamese can speak it well at me, so we can communicate with each other and all of the world.
So that is the same kind of story like
That's
Jack
all.
Ma. That's wonderful, Teacher Sun. Jack Ma, the same kind of story. The businessman from China,
Yeah.
Alibaba, who just retired last
Yeah,
year, it's the same
yeah,
story.
I know him. That
Yes,
famous one.
yes, Teacher Jack. And so, Teacher Sun, thank you
But I
for
don't know
sharing.
how.
Looks like he froze there. Let's see. Okay, Teacher Sun, continue. What were you saying?
Oh, excuse me. Maybe the internet connection not good, and I can't hear anything.
Okay. Teacher Sun, thank you for sharing. I'm going to go over to Teacher Ann now. I want to talk to Teacher Ann.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's so nice to hear from you. And that's why we're here, to be able to communicate, speak with each other. Teacher Ann,
Yes, Teacher Tim.
very, very honored to have you here right now, Teacher Ann, because actually your grammar intense class yesterday was a lot of fun. I actually love listening to you talk in English and Vietnamese and students talking, practicing what they were seeing. and that it's just beautiful. And you have a passion for grammar intensives, this type of environment, Teacher Ann?
Actually, I don't really like to teach grammar, but as you say, that is the traditional education in Vietnam. So most of the Vietnamese people, they feel not confident to speak when they know nothing about the grammar or the vocabularies. And many of them ask me to open the grammar class. But I like to open a speaking class more than grammar. I think that is the old thinking of Vietnamese people. And as you say, mm, but and I have 4 years to be a tutor, one by one, and teach the grammar for my students. But they don't like to study grammar too much, and sometimes I give them the homework, and they didn't do it, and so that I feel disappointed, and I give up to be a teacher. But now when I join Web Talk, I feel that I want to be a teacher again, because the people come here, all of them, they want to learn, and I feel that what I teach them, they they receive it, they treasure it, and I feel happy because of that.
Wow, very nice, Teacher Ann. Yeah, Teacher Tim felt the energy yesterday through technology, Teacher Ann, with the students. It was wonderful. And um, Teacher Ann, Teacher Tim is very aware of the facts of countries and students hating grammar intensives. They actually hate it.
Yes.
And not many people understand why. They only listen, or they only, look at the children and they don't want to do it. And you got to understand, everyone, that children and teenagers are in the classrooms every single day listening to the same thing over and over and over. And what a waste of time. What a waste of a human being's precious time of 24 hours to have children of all ages sitting in these types of environments where they should have learned it in about 2 years. 10 years later, it failed them. So what are we going to do? Let's go to Teacher Jenny, because she's already showing, if Teacher Jenny is here. Hey, there's Teacher Jenny. So what can we do to make it better based on the facts that were just shared?
Yes, that's my boy. Okay, sorry, it can be a little bit noisy in my place because my son is playing. Well, it. Okay. I think as started from my son, I think it's a very effective way to learn English, like to create an environment that that makes the kids have to speak out in English. Well, like in many centers, they try to show some flashcards, and they teach the kids some sentence or just some vocabulary only. And at school, they consider English a subject, not a language. So everything the kids need to do is to get 8, 9, 10 points at school, and that's good enough for their parents. But when they have chance to meet a person like Teacher Tim, and if Teacher Tim asks them a question, they just got shocked, and they are stunned. They just stand there and they said, "Who? What's that?" Even if you say good morning, maybe they will say good afternoon back. And that's a fact I have learned for many years. So, as the Vietnamese people talk about learning English, we often say like, I would say that in Vietnamese, nghe, nói, đọc, viết, it means listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It is exactly the same with that order. Like we have to listen, then we have to learn how to speak, then we learn how to read, and after that we can learn how to write. It's the same with all the kids. You know, a newborn kid, it has to spend like 1 year of the first year of his life to listen to mommy, daddy, to everyone around him or her to speak, and then maybe 12 months, 1 year old, he or she can say the first word, like a very simple word, like first like single word, and then compound words, and a phrase, then a simple sentence. Then exactly for us like that. But we are more grown up, and we can learn on purpose. We can search on the book. We can translate into Vietnamese the meaning of the words and something like that. So we learn faster than kids. But still, the procedure: listening, speaking, reading, and then writing. So that's
Very
my
nice.
opinion.
Thank you, Teacher Jenny. And let me share with everyone about true project-based. And true project-based is about your vision, your idea, your dream first. First. And this is where the world is going to begin to understand that when you have a teacher that listens to you first, you begin to fly very quickly. Why? Because you're sharing something from your mother tongue first. Please remember, true project base is about your mother tongue first. Because Teacher Jenny just shared 4 skills, just like nature's law. Listening as a baby. You listen to your mom and dad first. What happens next? You begin to speak. A couple years later. And then what happens? You want to read something. You see books. You try to read. And what happens when you love to read? You begin to see the structures of sentences in your mother tongue. And if you truly are passionate about other languages, then you go for other languages later in your time, like English. There's a 5th skill in true project based, and that is the rise of self-esteem, confidence in you. This is a fact in the world. The 5th skill, confidence, self-esteem, is very low in a majority of people in this world right now. That's a fact. Getting each human being to share from their heart rises up something, just like Teacher Sun did with many people listening. That's a 5th skill. He has the ability right now to speak with many people listening. So when he goes further in his life, when he has to present something, he's going to feel a little bit better about himself. And this is what true project base is about. Not many people in the world have heard of a 5th skill. Teacher Tim develops the 5th skill. It's the cure. And the cure begins with Teacher Tim listening. That's why we're here today. Listening. Teacher Tim listened to Thailand. Teacher Tim listened on the big island of Hawaii. And Teacher Tim listened deeply and was shown by 2 parents, a mother and father. Simple. So now, why are we here today? Vietnam is mostly here listening. We had Teacher Sun, we had Teacher Ann, we had Teacher Jenny, we had Teacher Toto introduce what we were going to create today. An environment of listening, an environment of expressing facts and ideas. What about our L, our learning issues? Well, that's simple. They're unlimited when you go after your vision. And you will notice that one vision will go to another vision of more learning, and another, and another. And your action plan, you are all here right now. You took the time to develop yourself correctly, listening like a baby, speaking like a 2-year-old, just like Teacher Tim is talking like a 2-year-old. Just sounds coming out. Simple. So, Vietnam, many of you might be aware, there's a bonus in Web Talk right now. The bonus in Web Talk is that when you turn 18 years old, you can be part of a free rewards program. It means that when you create a Web Talk post yourself and you learn how, people are going to press emojis in Web Talk, they're going to comment, they're going to share, and then Web Talk simply says thank you. This is everybody has this opportunity. Web Talk is your platform to create in. We're in Zoom because Web Talk doesn't have this yet. It's coming. We will say goodbye to Zoom in the future because Web Talk will have this environment. Right now, everybody has a gift of Web Talk. You all have a gift. You are inviting people from your country for free. You're speaking to them in Vietnamese. You can join and interact with people over 65 countries. They don't understand. You show them Web Talk. It's in English. They don't understand. That's okay. Take your time. And here's the other beautiful thing. We now have environments where you don't need money to learn. That is nature's law. People should not be paying money to learn. It's incorrect. This is why humanity failed in the educational systems of the world. Humanity, you thought it was about money. Let's put more money into it. It has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with Teacher Ann's passion, Teacher Jenny's passion, Teacher Toto's compassion. The individual Fong tonight in a private class with Teacher Tim, 7:30, Teacher Toto, and 11 individuals. Fong has compassion for Vietnam. He writes from the heart inside Web Talk. We can support our teachers by using Web Talk. Simple. And Web Talk will support your visions as we get to know them. And please understand, your visions need money to create because education and traveling are the keys. Jackie is 13 years old. She made 6 pennies. Her Web Talk account, 6 pennies in Web Talk in March from her mother's account. That's because she's engaging in web talk, and people are writing